If you've watched Apple long enough, you start to notice a rhythm. It's like a tick, a tell. Most people read the leaks about the iPhone 18 Pro and see progress. A 5200 milliamps battery, a 2 nanometer chip, a custom C2 modem. But if you step back, this doesn't feel like a company strutting. This feels like a company bracing for impact. Because here's the pattern. When Apple is confident, they make things thinner. When Apple is worried about performance, specifically the performance of their new features, they make things thicker. And the iPhone 18 Pro, according to these leaks, it's getting thicker. Let's look at the numbers that the tech blogs are celebrating. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is rumored to jump to a 5200 milliamps battery. That is massive. That is the biggest battery ever put inside an iPhone. On paper, this is a victory lap. But wait, let's apply a little psychological pressure here. Simultaneously, we're hearing about the A20 Pro chip built on a 2 nanometer process. In the tech world, a smaller nanometer number usually means one thing: extreme efficiency. It means the chip does more work while sipping less power. So let's do the math. You have a super efficient chip and you need a record-breaking battery. You have to make the phone physically thicker to hold it. That's a contradiction. That's like putting a larger gas tank in a car that also gets better mileage. You only do that if you know the engine is about to work a lot harder. This isn't just about better battery life. This is Apple building a dam because they know a flood is coming. The flood is on-device AI. The flood is the power consumption of features they haven't even announced yet. They aren't giving you more battery because they love you. They're giving you more battery because the next few years of software are going to drain the old ones dry. Then there's the modem, the C2, reportedly. This will be the first time an iPhone Pro completely ditches Qualcomm. Tech enthusiasts love this. Apple finally controlling its own destiny. Vertical integration, and sure, on a spreadsheet, that looks great. But let's remember the trauma of the past. Remember the iPhone 4? You're holding it wrong. Remember the early Intel modem years? Apple paid billions to Qualcomm just to make the embarrassment stop. This move to the C2 isn't just about innovation. It's a divorce. Apple hates paying the Qualcomm tax. It eats into margins. It means they're dependent on a rival. But here's the silent majority reality. Most normal users, they don't know who makes their modem. They just want their Uber to load. The risk here is entirely Apple's. If the C2 has even a slightly weaker signal than Qualcomm's latest, the tech community will smell blood in the water. Apple is betting its reputation on a chip that has to be perfect on day one. And that rumored satellite data support, that's not just a feature, that's a lock-in mechanism. It's making sure that when you're off the grid, you're still paying Apple for the privilege of being connected. But let's get to the part that actually moves units, the colors. Mark Gurman reports a deep red is coming for the iPhone 18 Pro, and the internet is already buzzing. Finally, a red Pro. But notice the timing. The report mentions the current cosmic orange is popular, especially in China. This is where the cultural critic in me wakes up. Red isn't just a color. In China, red is luck, it's prosperity, it's cultural gravity. Apple introducing a deep red right now while also keeping orange. That's not just an aesthetic choice. That is a strategic salvo aimed directly at the Asian market. Apple knows Huawei is resurgent. They know the competition in that region is fierce. A red iPhone isn't for the tech reviewer in Ohio. It's a specific signal to the market that is arguably the most important battleground for the next decade. They're using the aluminum unibody to justify the colors, but the reason is market retention. And then there's the iPhone Fold. The leaks say Apple is staying away from fun colors for the Fold. We're talking dark gray, light silver, boring, safe. Tech Twitter might complain, why can't we have a purple foldable? But look at the strategy. The first iPhone Ting, only 2 colors. The first Apple Watch, limited options. Apple is terrified of the Fold. not of selling it, but of manufacturing it. A folding screen is a mechanical nightmare compared to a solid slab. If you add complex color chemistry, anodization processes, and supply chain complexity on top of a brand new hinge mechanism, you invite disaster. By limiting the colors, Apple isn't being conservative, they're managing risk. They saw Samsung trip over the Fold 1. They saw the screen failures. Apple is essentially saying, we are going to launch this thing in stealth mode, no flashy colors, just get it into hands without it breaking. This isn't confidence, it's caution. So where does this leave us? The enthusiasts are staring at the 2 nanometer chip and the C2 modem specs, debating nanometers. But the normal person on the street, the silent majority, they are going to walk into a store in late 2026, pick up a thicker, heavier phone, and think, wow, this feels substantial. They'll see the red color and think, that looks nice, and they won't know it's thicker because the AI needs 20% more power. They won't know the modem is Apple's way of cutting ties with a partner. They won't know the Fold has boring colors because Apple is scared of a recall. They'll just buy it. And that is the brilliance of Apple's psychology. They take a collection of defensive moves, padding the battery, cutting costs on modems, simplifying manufacturing, and they package it as Pro. This looks like an upgrade cycle, but if you look closer, it looks like a company preparing for a very difficult war. A war for battery life against AI, a war for independence against Qualcomm, a war for market share against Huawei, and a war against the physics of folding screens. The iPhone 18 Pro isn't just a new phone, it's a shield. And the question isn't whether it will sell. The question is, are you paying for the upgrade? Or are you paying for their problems? Let me know in the comments. Are you excited for a thicker phone if it means better battery life? Or does this feel like they're just patching holes in the dam? I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.